Because there's another fact, Bazalwan, ukuthi emsebenzini, even at school, everywhere you go, there are people who know that you are struggling to control your emotions. So if you don't know how to control yourself, you'll find that you're in a position of getting promoted. But because they know that you can't control your ego and your emotions, they'll use that against you. And then you lose that promotion. You find people fighting you and offending you because you can't be able to have self control, the spirit of self control. These are the things that are written in the Bible. You guys don't have time for the Bible, you guys don't have time for church, and we don't get a chance to teach you these things because you think you know everything, which is not good. You're setting yourself up for failure. So come back so that you get proper training, so that you get proper inspiration, you get proper teaching. Another thing that I think will help us as the young people for our time, as the 2Ks, is that let us go back to the way things were done. Let's go back to barter trade. Let us go back to loving each other and spending more time loving than hating. Forget about wars. In all times, in all dispensations, in all eras, war has always been the negative. War has always been the cause, the stem, the root cause of all calamity and atrocities in life. Fighting people and always fighting has never been the answer, because when you fight, you get to a point where the fighting corrupts you. You end up not knowing what you're even fighting for, because there's just fighting, and you end up becoming someone who becomes frustrated when there is no fighting, because the only thing that you know is that you need to fight. So you end up fighting even people. Let's say there are soldiers that are coming there from the hard environment and toxic and destructive and atrocious environments, and then they come into a civilized society. They are forced to live with people in the civilized society. They have a lot of adapting to do, because all what they know is just horror, psychological impacting activities. I'll explain that some other time, but protect your mind. You can be in God in the midst of calamities and all types of sea billows roaring around you. When the sea billows roar, when sorrows like sea billows roar, when there's a battle in your mind, when there are challenges, when there are explosions, when there are issues that are bombarding you, pains and different kinds of issues, I'm here to help you walk step by step, and I've got backing more than 20 elderly people who have got a history of more than 8 years. Other sources that I have got 8 years in the planet. One of them has got 25 years in marriage. Others have got 30 years in marriage. Others are very, very successful young people. Another one is a 20-year-old. She is managing her inheritance with great success. Others are 13-year-old achieving great achievements in university. No, not a 13-year-old, but I think he's turning 19 or 20 this year. He's in UCT. I've got backing, and many others that are in the work environment. So there's so much of wisdom and knowledge. I'm also exposed to teachers, people of knowledge, people of wisdom. I'm also exposed to different kinds of doctors, PhD holders. So people who are well equipped, who know life. People will tell you, shut up. Listen to yourself. Why are you always associated with noise? Quiet. When you are in a school that is not like a library, that is why you fail. In your school, there is always noise, always playing. We've got sports field for playing. We've got discos and bars for noise. But this is a school. We're here to learn. This should be like a library. How do you listen to yourself? How do you do self-introspection? How do you regroup yourself? How do you gain command of your mind? How do you gain command of your being? Gain control. Do you know why a car gets crushed and then it runs over the road? It's because the driver had lost control. They lost control. They went into the car drunk. They expected the car to drive itself. We are not there yet, but we are going to get there where cars drive themselves. However, you need to learn to drive yourself, equip yourself. If you can't control yourself, you are always surrounded and bombarded with noise. I'm sorry to say this, hip hop, all these kinds of music, tomoe, all this noise. They call it praise. They call all these noises praise. I love hip hop. I love tomoe. I like different kinds of noises, but there's a time for all those things.